So, if I could just get a moment of your time, I would love to talk to you about the Croak and Crow podcast. Hello and welcome back to the Croak and Crow podcast, where we talk about religion and stuff like that. I'm Spencer.
I'm Vo.
And, so how's everything?
It's raining out.
It is raining out.
Might be a flood watch.
It's going to be raining all tomorrow, too.
And,
So you hate kids.
I don't hate kids.
You're like
I hate
the Scrooge.
Is there a Scrooge of Halloween?
You.
I hate feeling trapped, and I don't like my street being blocked off, because how will I get in and out?
So a minor inconvenience for you.
Minor?
Yeah.
How do you feel? How will you get out and in?
I'll park on the street right next.
That involves me walking to the corner.
You know what? I hope it rains, but I hope they still have it. And that way, not only do you have to walk around the corner, but you also walk around the corner in the rain. All right, what are we talking about today? I'm done talking about rain. Unless the topic's rain.
No, the topic's not rain. The topic is evangelism. Okay?
I'll let you take the lead on this one.
Sure. Evangelism, I think it's when you are going around and you are sharing the word of God. You're trying to convert people. You're trying to bring people. I believe it's born out of good intentions. Mm-hmm. Famously, it goes south.
Yeah.
It might have a bit, just like Catholics we talked about the other day, can have a bad association because of what has happened. Evangelists could have a bad association of what has happened. And are we evangelists?
No. I'm not for evangelizing. When I think of it, I just think of door-to-door knockers, pushing your beliefs onto somebody. And a lot of times I feel like there's tactics used, or like fear, or, like this is our way is the way. And I think why I don't like it is because I don't really believe in such strict rules, right? So I am not a believer that we got a decent amount of religions on earth. If you don't pick the right one, it'll be nice knowing you when we get on in the next life, because you're going to hell. No, I think what all sort of religion points to, no matter what you believe in, is living a good life. Spreading love, loving your neighbor. And do I believe, am I a Christian? Do I believe, that Jesus was God on earth? Yes. But I believe what he was spreading was to live like me and not like anything too analytical about that. So I think anyone can do that. So, but then again, I do want to spread that word.
Right.
So is that evangelizing? It's just sort of evangelizing has such a connotation to convert to my religion.
Yes.
Where if my evangelizing is live a good life and you'll go to heaven. That's it.
Right. Exactly. So you feel inspired to do this podcast because you feel that you should spread the word of God? Or that's what I'm asking.
This podcast, in my mind, is sort of, I think I said on the first episode, I'm sure there's a lot of people who are like me, where they just don't really like all the politics and stuff with organized religion. Not saying anything's wrong with organized religion, but it's like sort of this free-thinking generation. And so I like to think of myself as a spokesperson for not, putting yourself in a box, but being open. And so no matter what your beliefs are, finding commonalities with other people rather than, this is my group of people who believe this. This is your group of people. One of us has to be right. One of us has to be wrong.
Right.
And it's my goal as a good Christian to go to them and say, you need to do what I'm doing because I'm looking out for you. And that's when when, you know, like hypocrisies come up and it's like, you know, do I even have the right to tell someone else I'm doing the right when, am I perfect? No. Is there more perfect people than me that are in every other religion?
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
So who do I think I am going to them and say, you need to do what I'm doing?
Right.
They're like, that's funny. I donate to charity. I save lives. I, you know, love my neighbor more than you do.
Right.
All these things. And it's like,
you don't mind if people have a block party, block off your block.
No.
For the kids during a pandemic to give out candy.
Guess what? It's all good. It's all gravy in my.
Okay, so as for my side, I'm really conflicted, right? Because I'm normally a person who just wants to stay insulated and doesn't want to offend anybody. And also, I have like little faith in people that they care what I think, or that they want to change what they think, right? Like, I'm not going to try to convince someone about a political party, or convince somebody that they should be vegan, or something like this, right? And also, sometimes I say to myself, what am I doing? Am I trying to... I find myself different from other people who are on YouTube or podcasts. That they're so excited about their religion. They're so convinced. I want to be convinced. I want to feel that level of confidence. And they're so convinced that they are driven to just to teach people to be like them, right?
Yeah.
I'm not like that.
No.
But I do. God has worked in my life, is working currently.
Yeah.
I had like 3 signs this morning. Is working in my life. He's such an answer to me. He's such a comfort and a joy. And but I keep thinking of the Bible story where the owner of the land or whatever, he gave each person something, and then when he came back, what did you do with it, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, I invested it and I tripled it. And and the one guy said, well, I
buried it.
I didn't know what to do, but I did value it. But I just buried it. And then look, here it is. It's exactly what you gave me. Jesus or God, whoever was in the story, was very mad. They're like, I didn't give it to you to bury it. So
like even I think someone like lost it, but it was better that they tried, right?
Right, exactly. So do I feel comfortable? Do I want to put myself on a dartboard for people to say, you don't know how to quote scripture?
Yeah.
What do you know? I know I'm opening myself up to the public, which I'm a very private person. But I feel a responsibility. Anyway, I try to say this, it makes me feel... I still feel insecure about it. Like, girl, nobody's listening. But what do you think?
No, I mean, I agree. And I think that's another thing of, you asked why I want to do this podcast is, I think, and that's what sort of makes people, I feel like we're in a time now because people are leaving, like organized religion more and more, where it's not so much of what I'm saying of like, they're leaving and they're ready to spiritually go on a quest to find themselves. I think they're leaving because they're like, I'm not speaking in tongues. Like, I see this person online and they're reading scripture with a smile on their face. I don't have that.
Right.
I guess I'm not that religious.
Right.
And so sort of like, I'm just a regular dude, you know?
Right. And
I want to, again, I guess, promote that message of like, you don't need to be like, so I mean, it's sort of like a lead by example thing. Like, on like for everyone who's like, I can't just follow these things. It's like I don't have that type of energy, or like I don't know if I believe in like these certain things. They're so strict, and so I believe more than evangelizing, just leading by example. And so if they hear us talking, it's like, oh, they're just 2 regular people,
right? But
like, you know, we put spirituality on a pedestal in our life, even without all the things that come along with it. And so I believe that people will find value in that, because then it's like, okay, maybe I thought I was not into religion more than I was,
right?
Like, what I got turned off was by X, or like what pushed me away was Y. And it's like, I think what we're promoting is more of a personal approach of like.
Interesting. I think of this analogy when you say that. It's a playground, and you're breaking up for recess, and who wants to play volleyball, and everybody runs over there, and then other people are like, who wants to smoke cigarettes? You know, they go over there, and we're kind of like the group of like.
We play volleyball while smoking cigarettes.
No, but we're just like, hey, like we don't want to do any one thing, but we're not going to judge it. Like maybe the jocks will judge the stoners. It's like we're not judging anybody, but it's just like a bunch of misfits. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just I mean, end of the day, I think we both believe that spirituality is a lot more simple than people make it.
Right.
And sort of that's what we're promoting.
Right.
Just like I said, after reading the whole Bible, I can boil it down to one word: love. I can boil it down to 5 words, which is love your neighbor like yourself. That's it.
Yeah.
That's absolutely it. If you read the entire thing and you're like, oh shoot, you get an assignment to break it down to 5 words.
Break it down. Yeah. Except my neighbor who's blocking off the street.
You gotta stop complaining about the neighbor.
On a weekend.
But okay, we're on a spiritual podcast. Maybe in light of being spiritual, you can let it go.
Well, maybe it's best to let people know that I'm not Mother Teresa. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm sitting here, Jesus is first in my life, and I aspire to that, and I think I'm all right, but no, I still have these, I still have these feelings.
I get furious a lot. I have a lot of anger in my heart.
Yeah. Especially it's in your heart. I don't think it's in your heart. I think it might be in
my mind.
Yeah, like I
think it's in my body. It's like I get physical angst, like when I don't eat and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like
what's it called? Hangry.
Yeah, I get really hangry. I'm hangry right now. But yeah, no, I think that is true because I think of myself as empathetic, right? And anytime I do lash out and I let my anger get the best of me, almost immediately I start feeling for whoever my anger affected. And so, yeah, I don't think anger is in my heart. I think love is in my heart. Yeah, but
in your deep heart.
On the surface, in my human body, it can get a little
that's Jesus knew, especially knew because he became a human. He must have gotten hangry.
You think?
Oh, yeah.
No, he went 40 days and 40 nights without eating.
And he was hangry about it. That's the thing that people don't realize about Jesus. But when God had to become man, okay, and walk around and be 150 pounds, whatever he was, you know what I'm saying, and not eat, or that's the problem he was dealing with, the being a human. And like, yes, it hurt him when he got nailed to the cross. It wasn't like, he got nailed to the cross, but it didn't really hurt him.
He cried up to God or like up to heavens and like, why have you forsaken me?
Right.
And then
so how could he not have been hungry?
He was hungry on a mission.
And he was so committed to fulfilling the scriptures that the devil said to him, why don't you just make yourself a spread and eat it? Yeah. It's like
spread.
A spread. He had to act as a human. So, 2 things I think of when I say about this podcast, I say, what am I doing? One is in the gospel, it says, if you're speaking the word of God, God will give you the words. Mm-hmm. So I don't have to worry. Yeah, it's like, oh, what are we going to talk about? Or like I said, I can't quote scripture. I can't quote my social security number. So, you know what I mean? So
I can.
One is that he will give us the words. 2, in the gospel, it says the people who need to hear what you're saying are going to hear what you're saying.
Yeah. The
people who don't need to hear it. So if someone were to be like, I don't like what you're saying, I don't get what you're saying, you're not saying anything I want to hear, that's all. I already know that going into it.
Yeah. And like, I just think another big thing of why, when we get back to the word evangelizing, I'm not really for it because I'm a big proponent.
Yeah, I guess.
But is there like a person that's like proponer? What to propone? Now the word sounds weird in my head. I'm a big advocator for living by example. I want to be a person that is asked about, my daily routines by someone who sees the actions I'm doing. You know? It's like it's like fitness. What's better, a physical trainer who's out of shape and chubby and says, oh, you should do this, and you're like, or someone that you're like, I want to know what he eats.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what his routine is.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go back, or then you find out everything. You want to learn from them. And so I think religion's the same way. It's just harder to see because it's not as like a human body, but it should be I want to know his beliefs.
Definitely.
Like I don't want some church to come up to me, or some people knock on my door and say what's it called? Hey, this is the truth. Let me tell you what you have to do to go to heaven. I'd much rather see someone doing a good deed on their own by themselves, and then I'd wonder, if they're religious,
right? And
I think it's more powerful,
right? So, like, if you're talking about exercise, you would do your exercise routine because you know that you get results from it.
Yeah.
And then if people see you, they would be interested maybe. And if they were interested, you would be open to talking to them about it.
Yeah.
So just translate the whole thing into spirituality.
Exactly.
And you do what is making you feel connected to God.
Yeah.
People will notice that. People will say.
And I'm not at the gym walking up to someone who's doing something and say, hey, you could really get better results doing this.
Right.
They'd be like, leave me the F alone.
Right. Well, you don't know that.
If you walked up to someone who's working out, it might not be the best workout, right?
Yeah.
But generally they're exercising.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you could do that better. Mm-hmm. They would say, they'd punch me in the face, and then
wow, what kind of gym do you go to?
A really rough and tough one. And then I would be like, what was that for? I'm trying to help you. And they're like, hey, listen, I've been doing this for years.
Yeah.
I've been getting results. I don't need you and your soapbox to tell me.
I know, there's a lot of that.
How to do my pull-ups.
Some people are so afraid of spirituality, so afraid of religion, so afraid of what it would mean to be a part of it, that they get their, what's it called, like their bristles up or whatever, like a cat. If you bring in the talk of like spirituality or religion, and maybe people have been knocking on their doors. I feel like we're talking about a certain religion when we keep saying knocking on doors. There's only,
you know who you are.
There's only one door knocker. So on one hand, it's like, calm down. On the other hand, you can maybe see where they're coming from. Also, you don't know if they came from a religious family that used religion as a form of control. Yeah. So you don't know what baggage they have.
Yeah, it's just tough. And I think on more than that, people are afraid. They're afraid of religion because it's a big topic. You know why? It has to do with eternity. And people don't like the idea of that, so they don't think about it. And so That's true. They have a religion.
It's like you literally, by mentioning it, you're bumming me out. Because it's like, what do you mean? I'm just looking for the weekend, you know?
But so they're born into this religion, and then they're like, okay, in my circle, this is what's true. That's all I need to know. Like, I'll follow those rules. Because even I know I have a lot of Christian friends, not like Christian in the sense that they're at church every Sunday. They're just normal everyday.
If
Christians.
They were asked what they were,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I would just tell them like, oh, I'm reading the Quran right now. They're like, and like I'll start like talking. I don't really want to hear about it. Like, they shut them once they know like, okay, this is the box I'm in.
Right.
They feel safe in there.
Right.
And they're like, I don't even want to know about other stuff.
Right.
I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
The way I see it, if you were so comfortable, you'd be able to learn every religion cover to cover.
Do you think they think it's a betrayal to their religion to even listen to you talk about, a different religion?
Yeah, I think in a way, but I think it's because they're not. I'm calling everyone out here because I'm in a bad mood. I haven't eaten. I think they're not confident enough, right? Like, it's like me, right?
It's hard to be confident in anything.
Yeah, I'm dating a girl, okay? I'm dating this girl. someone give you two scenarios and tell me which one am I more confident in myself and this religion. I'm dating this girl. She's the one. Then there's this other girl I'm friends with, or like I see her, she's pretty, and she's like, hey, or like, and yeah, she asked me if I wanted to just go out to lunch.
Okay.
I would, if I wasn't confident in myself, I'd be like, oh no, I don't want anything to happen. Like, what if I like this person? Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, right.
I'm not going to go on a lunch with her. I'm staying faithful to or I'm just not going to even let myself go near that.
Yeah.
The other situation is, I'm in love with this girl. She's perfect in every way. A friend asks me, hey, do you want to go out to lunch? I'm like, yeah, of course. I don't even see a problem with it.
Right.
Because I'm so confident. What? I am in love with person A.
Right.
It's lunch,
right.
And when that becomes a problem in relationships of that, going out just to a lunch with somebody is when there's insecurity or not confidence.
Well, yeah, sure.
Why you got a fully confident couple, they would have no issue.
True.
It's like, oh yeah, you're going out with someone on lunch. Like, okay, can you pick me someone up while you're there?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, of course. But it's when the insecurity comes in and it's like there's that potential. I'd rather just not even open myself up to new ideas.
Right.
So me with Christianity, I'm comfortable. We're locked down. I put a promise ring on her, and so now I'm going out to lunch, just getting to know this person. We can become friends. Doesn't change my loyalty to old Christy over there.
Well, there's a fear of if you have religion, you have a level of comfort that people who don't have religion don't have.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that. And so you're afraid to lose it.
Yeah.
So I think that's why people are afraid to listen to anything so they've already subscribed here, and it's like, what if you knock me off of my belief here, and then I don't like your belief either, and then I'm left with nothing? Because it's all fear always.
Go back to the original statement. Yeah. What if like that person then ends up with nobody and they're all alone and they're like,
yeah,
I was better off in a comfortable relationship than now being single.
Yeah.
That's no way to be.
No.
But
no,
so
no.
I think let me dial it back with my analogy. I like analogies. I'm gonna stick with this one. So I am not telling you the who's the people that go to church twice a year? Creasters.
Oh yeah.
The creasters out there.
A combination of Christmas and Easter.
Yeah, I'm not saying, hey, go read every religious text from every religion. What I'm saying is the first part is become more confident with your religion, and then I feel like you become more open-minded.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I feel like people don't even try to learn too much about Christianity as a Christian because it's like, I live in okay. I mean, it was me a couple years ago when I had not read the Bible. It was like, I believe in it. Just let it be known. I believe in Jesus. I'm not going to go do anything crazy, like go to church or read the Bible or anything, but I believe in it. And so I think it starts with learning your own religion. And then once you gain that comfortability and confidence, then you can start. So once I'm going to tell my story again, I'm going to tell it every podcast. So once I got that confidence from Christianity, once I read the Bible for myself, I no longer was listening to other people. I read it for myself and got what I got. Then I was able to go now and look at other religions, look at other types of life, and bring it back to my root beliefs of what I learned from Christianity. And that's when now I'm seeing everything's more alike of what it is to be a good life. And then, it makes it so that you can be more open-minded to everything. And I think the problem is why people don't like that is because they might have they might be being told something by a certain preacher or something. Right. It's like, these people are wrong, these people are wrong. So you don't even know your own religion.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what you believe. You're confused.
Yeah. The best thing for people to know is that your relationship with God,
it's personal.
It's personal. So you don't need to join, pay, belong, born into, what's the word? Reborn? What is that called? Born again.
Born again.
Born again. You don't need, these things are all your options, but you don't need them. And if each single person who was born alone, you were just born on earth, you're going to be born, you're going to live on earth, then you're going to leave earth.
Yeah.
So regardless, you're born into this family or you joined this situation or whatever.
Yeah.
Every single person has to know that you don't need a priest to bless you. You could use this water to use as holy water. There's no special magical oil, water, words, book, candle. When it's boiled down, like you boiled everything down to, it's just love. It is just love. And all of it can be built upon. But for people to know that it's you know you're here.
Yeah.
If you know nothing else, you don't know anything. You don't know how to write a check. You don't know how to change a light bulb. You know nothing.
Yeah.
You know that you're here. You know that I'm here. Next thing you're going to know is that God's there and we're connected. We've been connected. We're always connected, and I'm going with you in the end. So you can choose your religion. You can choose your preacher. You can choose your podcast. But in reality, it's always just you and him.
Yeah.
And nobody can take it away from you. Not if you go to prison. Not if your family forbids it. Not if you're gay. Not if you're anything that you think you're not invited to that table of do-gooders, that table of, because, evangelism does have I think it has a stereotype.
Yeah.
And it's a do-gooder. And it's someone who judges you.
Yeah.
And it's someone who,
I've figured it out. I have the answers.
They know that they are the men from the Old Testament who they have very intimate conversations with God. They absolutely know. They know, and they don't just know messages from God. They know how you're supposed to dress.
Yeah.
They know how music you're supposed to listen to. Mm-hmm. And guess I'm saying that is a stereotype. I'm not saying they're all like that, and I'm not saying that we're not evangelizing, but the word evangelism is, I think for most people, it's an ugly word.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Like, because I agree outright. I think it's one thing to express like a message that you have, and this is what I believe. This is what I believe. Once you switch it over to this is what you should believe, that's when it gets like, it's up for people to make that decision for themselves of what they believe. And the problem is religion has so much power in a good way, but also has power in a bad way, that you get into situations where it's very easy to make people believe what you want them to believe.
Yeah, well, look at cults.
Yeah.
I can't believe how easy it is. You watch these shows on Netflix or YouTube, and you can't believe it.
No.
People lining up, people emptying bank accounts, dying, giving their children, leaving their children. When I see it, I can't believe it. And then I just think, if it happened once, you would say, what a weird time. But the fact that it can happen all the time just shows that you have to be careful, and how strongly God would frown upon somebody who did take advantage of somebody else, because it just shows that everyone is looking. Everyone is looking for everyone's looking for someone to tell them they're okay and that they'll be okay. Yeah. So when someone says it, like a cult leader or a preacher, not that they're equal, people are like, awesome. I want to hear that a lot. I hope that they can hear it in their own head. Yeah.
Yeah. I think everyone should just mentally catalog for themselves what their beliefs are first. By yourself. What are your core, what do you truly think is right and wrong? Don't be told what I'm, this is wrong, this is right. Have an honest conversation with yourself of these are things I consider immoral, these are things I consider good. And then go out, and then, when you listen to other people, base it off of what your beliefs, not the other way around. Don't let other people's beliefs shape what you think is good. Because I think there is few genuinely bad people born and raised, you know, and without outside. Don't get me wrong. I think, like, if you look at like child soldiers and stuff, like you get brainwashed as a child, which is a terrible thing. But
right.
I'm excluding that, so I know that you can be like programmed to have bad thoughts, but generally for like the mass population, I think sort of we're born with these sort of moral boundaries of what's right and wrong. Like, even if you steal, I think there's few people that deep down in their hearts they know, like, okay, well, I know stealing's not good. You know, I know hurting someone is not good, and I know being kind to someone is good. Just on very general terms. So I think people have these moral things, and you just need to sort of have a conversation with yourself of, these are my beliefs. And then when you go to church, you can listen to everything the preacher's saying is good. He devoted his life to religion.
Yeah.
But, you know, sort of have it go adjacent with your own beliefs.
Right.
And don't go to these things with a blank mind, like, and an empty mind and a blank stare, like, tell me what I must know.
Yeah. In the Matthew, it said that the teacher, the master's not greater than the servant. The teacher's not greater than the student. But the student can aspire to be like the teacher.
Yeah.
You know, but it does say that he's teaching, but like when you just talked about the preacher, and he's up there and he dedicated his life, he did. But he's still a person, like we talked about. He was still born to a woman, and he's going to die, and he's trying to figure it out, even though he was taught maybe in the best seminary in the world. So never feel less than.
No.
Never feel less than someone else. And if an evangelist tries to make you feel less than, I think that's a huge red flag.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's like, it should be then that's why I think, like, you know, it's good to read like the Bible and stuff, even if it's just the New Testament. Even if you say to read the Bible a lot. What about if it's just too hard to read? It is hard. Yeah, let me dial it back. Well, you know why I say it, and I know because you benefited. No, but I know how hard it is to read the Bible. And I want to tell people what I got from it as it was worth it. No, not even that. Like, I'm losing here. Okay. I want to be an evangelist. I want to say you don't have to read the Bible. I did the grueling work. It took me a year for you. Now let me tell you what's in it. Well, there you go then. That is good. No, but it's like, then I'm exactly who I swore to defend to protect. No, I think that's wrong. So now we are evangelizers? Listen, I'm not. I'm just here for the ride. You'll see me at your doorstep next week. I'm just here for the ride. I'm the type of person, when we're playing a board game, okay? Ask my siblings. I can't read the instructions. Yeah. I can't. Just open it and we'll start playing. Literally, if it was up to me, nobody would ever know how to play any board game ever. Yeah. We would make up our own rules. I had a sister who have a sister who can read the instructions, and she's there, she reads it, and then she tells us all in easier words. Yeah. And then it's like, fine, this is how we play. And I really appreciate her. I don't say like, how dare you? And thankfully she doesn't say I don't play them really, but she doesn't say like, no, I read it, now you read it. It's like, yeah. So I don't think it's wrong that you read it and maybe and you're like, maybe. Just maybe. Wait, maybe. Just maybe evangelizers aren't that. And maybe actually I am doing a little bit of a disservice by saying, whoa, I'm against that. So I'm not telling you anything I learned from the Bible. Find out for yourself. Right. When in reality, those preachers are still going to be preaching their beliefs. Yeah. Of what they got. And so now this person, like little Sally, who's on YouTube bouncing between her Sunday sermon and this podcast, is like, well, he's telling me that, if I cut my hair, I'm going to hell. But Spencer's telling me that I have to read the whole Bible to find out the truth for myself. I guess I'll just not cut my hair and be safe. Like,
right?
Maybe
no,
I should be offering my counter views. Like, I can obviously caveat it as believe whatever the heck you want to believe, but
we'll just have a constant disclaimer at the end of every video.
Everything we say is probably false, and you will be judged eternally.
No, meaning, what do they always say? This is the opinion of this person, and not, it's not. But no, but
you know what? Yeah, I think that's fine. Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's fine. You're the evangelist.
Yeah, I'm gonna start.
You need a what's his name from Family Feud?
I don't know.
Yeah, you know him.
Okay, Boomer.
Family Feud. Everybody knows.
I know.
He messed up the beauty contest.
Yeah.
How can we not know this? His name is okay. I'm just blanking, but his suits. He's famous for his preacher suits, and so I want to start seeing you in those.
Yeah, no, but now I lost my train. Oh yeah, I think the problem is this. I think I'm right and other people are wrong. Oh God, there I go evangelizing. No, I don't think enough preachers say, I don't have the answers, or like, this is just what I believe. Why in religion does it always turn to fact? Like, why does it that I'm overgeneralizing here, but why does it that a lot of preachers, when they're teaching, like even children, it's, this is what this means. This is what's wrong. This is what's right. Like we both said, you can have 10 people read the Bible and get 10 different messages from it. So why do you not usually hear what I believe when I read this, or like what I get from this?
Yeah.
It's always, so this is what this means, I've
even seen things on Google where I'll look up a passage because I'm completely lost.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I need some sort of foothold here. And I'll look up, and the person not only puts their opinion, but they tell you, most people are going to tell you this means this, and that is so wrong.
Yeah. And that's what I don't get. Like, I know that like, I remember in English class, like, you used to go over lines of different books, and like there would be a question like, what do you think the color red means in this like paragraph? And then you all give your different answers. Why in religion is, okay, I'm going to tell you what the color red meant in that sofa.
Right.
I don't know if there's any sofas in the Bible, but I'm going to tell you what the color red meant, And guess what? In books, usually you'd have the author to then ask. But
right.
The good, I think, it's not even bad that we don't have all the answers and it's up for interpretation. Because I think that's what makes... But
people do interpret when there's an author. A book club...
Yeah, well, no, there's a lot of authors that keep things. I remember that used to infuriate me back in English class when I would Google something and then it says, like, the author left it up for interpretation. I'm like,
yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Give me the answer. I want the concrete answers. But for the Bible, I think it's what makes it gives the book such longevity, and why a book can still be relevant in 2,000 years later. It's because it's not what's on the surface,
Yeah.
Like, we don't have goats anymore. Wait, what? It's we do. Remember goats before they went extinct?
I thought you meant us, and I was like,
we don't have goats.
I'll go along with it. No. We used to be goat farmers. Okay.
I was we don't sacrifice goats anymore.
Yeah.
We don't do these things that are, but it's obviously deeper than that. I think most churches, there are a few that say it is quite literal, only to be taken literal. But most churches say it's up for interpretation. But then why, and I ask why, do they give a concrete interpretation of it? If it's up for interpretation, that's not like it's up for me.
I don't know.
It's up for me to interpret.
A lot of people get really convinced. They get really convinced. It's the same thing, like when they make jokes about what's this exercise they make jokes about? The people, they're always like, ugh. CrossFit. It's like doing CrossFit and not just saying like, oh yeah, like the people who are like, it has to be the best thing that you do. And stuff. You know what I mean? So I guess they just feel like, no, they just feel it so strongly that this verse means this. Yeah. I won't listen to anything.
I wonder, in the Bible, they talk a lot about, beware, or Jesus talks a lot about beware of false prophets.
Oh yeah.
And in my mind, I usually put it on a high scale of, somebody like who has a huge like a cult leader.
Yeah.
Like, but can it be compared to more? Like, can it be smaller scale? Can it be beware of people who give you concrete reasons for what I tell you, and then like then you have to believe it.
Right.
I think so. What is a prophet if not just decoding God's words?
Yeah.
So someone who gives Bible verse meanings as fact, are they prophets? In a way.
In a way, yeah, sure. Prophetic.
So not like discredit them, but beware. Like, beware that of people who say I have all the answers.
Yeah. Because in the Bible Jesus says to the people, receive a prophet and treat him like a prophet, Mm-hmm. He doesn't say don't.
No, exactly. And then, so yeah, that's like sort of bringing back to what I said. I think, evangelizing isn't wrong. If you let it be known that this is what I get from the Bible. This is what I get. Me, Spencer.
Right.
Now you can listen to me, you can agree with me, you can form your own opinion, you can completely disagree with me.
Yeah.
But I think what you need to beware of is when someone says, this is the fact. If you don't believe it, I'll pray for you, but
Steve
unfortunately...
Harvey.
Don't talk bad about Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey is who I was trying to think about that whole time.
Oh, I was thinking of like before him.
No!
I would have thought of Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey. Sorry. He's very spiritual.
I thought you were coming at him saying like beware of Steve Harvey.
No. It just I couldn't get it and it just popped in my head.
Yeah, okay.
We should have him as a guest.
Yeah. God willing.
My lips to God's ears.
Yeah, so I think that's what you need to beware of. Beware of people who are saying this is a fact when it's not. It's not a fact. Because like I said, I think I'm just repeating a lot, but we'll finish up soon anyway.
That's what a podcast is about.
There's two things that the Bible can be seen as. One, completely literal. And then that gets rid of a lot of the problem of the solving anyway. And so you don't need a preacher.
Yeah.
It's all literal. Just read the sentence and get the sentence.
Right. But I think pretty soon, if you made the decision, sorry. It's like I paused you. I think if you made the decision to take the Bible completely literal and you started reading the Bible, very, very quickly you would say, this is impossible to take this literal. Yeah. Unless you throw a lot of stuff out, you can't take the Bible literal.
Yeah, or you just can't believe in like science or anything.
Yeah.
No, exactly. And so that creates the entire rest of the population who say, and even if they believe there's a decent amount of it that's true, but some of these things are what is like when a story is a metaphor? Like it is a
metaphorical.
Then guess what? It leaves it up for interpretation. And so by definition of left up for interpretation means there's not one answer. When authors say that, it's not I know why the chair is red. The point is it's left open. It's
to open your mind.
It's to open your mind. It's for you to think and deduce of what you gather from it. From like the leading up to the story. Okay, well this all that happened, this all that happened. So it's
like a spark. You need a spark to get you. Hey, let me think about that.
And look at books. Look at English books with interpretation. You'll have two PhD professors going at each other saying, I did all this research, I think is this. I did all this research, I think is this. And so for all the people that are like, oh, but
known who what's this Rosebud was.
Yeah.
So
a student in that one professor's class, they look at that doctoral professor and say, well, he says is this. And it's like not even knowing that he's arguing with someone else who is just as equally qualified. And so you might be there and I'm using so many different people. You might be in this professor's class, but not even knowing, oh, well, what Sally in the back row was thinking was, oh, I thought it meant this. That's what the other PhD professor is. So don't just take people's credit, because it's very easy to say, they devoted their life to this. They studied it for a long time. And it's like, the reason why we're not all in religion is because there's arguments on a very...
You're used to that. You're used to saying the doctor knows better, and the electrician knows better, and the, so you just forget that spirituality doesn't go in that department.
Yeah.
Before we go, I want to not forget that I think the main reason why evangelists have such a bad rap is because of the money.
Welcome.
Don't you think?
The money that they asked for?
Yeah. I mean, every time I think of evangelists, I think of like the really famous ones, Jim Baker, the people who just became celebrity superstars and really raked those people, the cash in for blessings.
Yeah.
You know, so don't you think of that when you hear evangelism? I don't think of a guy on a corner with a cardboard sign. I think
the door knockers, but yeah.
No, I was thinking tune into my whole entire channel. Yeah. Trinity Network. And I'm the star. I'm the star. It's a celebrity.
Yeah. I'm gonna leave in my Maserati.
Yeah. And fly away in my jet, and then I don't know what happens, but that's what I think of, and that's pretty frowned upon.
Yeah, and that's the problem. It's been the problem with religion forever. Like everything has an opposite, right? So like the reason why we have evil on this earth is this is my belief, is because you can't have good, you can't have pure love without hate, right? Okay. Like you need to have it.
Can't see the light unless it was dark.
You can't, And so religion has so much power in a good way. Mm-hmm. It's like I think it's the most powerful thing on earth is religion. But that means it has the ability to have power the opposite way. It has the ability to start. The reason why religion has the ability to start wars is because it has the ability to make peace, right? The reason why it has the power to make people the most charitable is also has power to make people the most greedy. And that is why religion gets a bad rep in a lot of circumstances. And so, with that, it just takes someone who has greedy intentions to use religion to their benefit. Yeah. And not for the benefit of all. But but just dial it back. It's unfortunate, and it should be like watched out for. Mm-hmm. But it just goes to the power that religion has to also do good. True.
You're right. They captured it, but then they just used it for their own gain.
Yeah. Because that's always what I think is people say, why does God let bad things happen? And it's like, because he allows great things to happen. And so you can't have one without the other. Like, have the ability to love means that you've created the ability to hate. Like, because that's the complete lack of love. Yeah. Otherwise, we'd all be living in the giver. Like, we take our pills every morning and we would just coast on by neutral.
Yeah. The other day when you said, did I see Inception? And I was like,
yeah.
That was weird, right? Because I thought...
I'm pretty sure you took me to the movies to see it.
I saw it. Yeah. I thought it was The Giver, and I gave you that look because you bring The Giver up so much.
I recommend The Giver. It's one of the best books ever written.
You bring it up so much.
It's also a good movie.
It was just the one word, one word, and I thought, oh, this again. And then I was like, wait, that didn't make any sense. I was
questioning it. But...
Okay. Yeah. So I don't think the problem with evangelists who do go over the top and end up totally forgetting their flock and just being self-serving, I don't know. I can't talk for them, and I don't really follow any of them, so I wouldn't really know to talk of them. But I don't think they're evil people. I think they get turned around. Yeah. And they get confused, and they get tempted, and they get a false sense of something. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to say the evangelist is bad. I'm going to say, once again, what I just said. Look out for yourself. Yeah. Okay? Forget if he's bad. Forget if he has bad intentions. If you want to, why are you giving him $50 or whatever? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He is not Jesus on earth.
No, he's a human.
He's a human. So that's evangelism.
So take from it what you want. If you're an evangelist out there, we still love you.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, but thank you all for coming to Croak and Crow. Here's my terrifying crow, straight from hell. All right, and we'll be back What day is it? Wish it was Friday.
Thursday. October's almost over.
We'll be back tomorrow talking about something really cool. Peace.